Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? That's a lot of star power. But who ends up on top at the end of Netflix's Red Notice? Let's dive in. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson gets top billing in the action comedy, which sees his character Special Agent John Hartley tasked with working with one of the most notorious art thieves in the world, Nolan Booth, played by Ryan Reynolds. They have to work together in order to prevent the theft of 3 major historical artifacts by the Bishop, another art thief played by Gal Gadot. At the beginning of Red Notice, Special Agent Hartley is introduced as an FBI profiler chasing after Nolan Booth. After hunting down Booth in Bali, Hartley seems shocked when he finds his life completely turned upside down by the Bishop. Framed for the theft of Cleopatra's first egg, Hartley is imprisoned in Russia, where he shares a cell with Booth. In prison, Hartley and Booth bond over the shared trauma from their poor relationships with their fathers. Hartley is subsequently forced to team up with Booth, supposedly to restore the former FBI agent's good name and prevent the Bishop from getting all 3 eggs, which are worth $300 million as a set. Their shared adventure first begins with a daring escape from prison, but eventually leads them all the way from Rome to South America.
Oh, that's fun. This is my best friend.
We're not friends.
We're best friends.
While the two repeatedly tell each other how much they hate one another, it becomes very clear that the experience has produced a genuine friendship between them. Eventually, however, the entire ordeal is revealed to be a ruse designed by Hartley and the Bishop, who are actually lovers. While the final twist of the film might come as a surprise to some viewers, small hints at Hartley's deception are scattered throughout the film, from his unnecessary flirtatious dance with the Bishop to his sudden ability to escape from previously unbreakable handcuffs. During their adventure, Booth reveals that his father was obsessed with locating the hidden treasure of Hitler's secret arts and antiquities dealer. Unfortunately, for some unknown reason, Booth's father came to believe that his son was responsible for the temporary loss of a prized Nazi watch. As a result, as he reveals to Hartley in prison, his father did not speak to him for more than a year, and their strained relationship led to Booth embracing a lonely life of crime. However, throughout the film, Booth and Hartley become close. After the two escape the reach of the police in South America, Booth is actually willing to sacrifice the 3rd egg in order to save his new friend. After Hartley and the Bishop's betrayal is revealed, though, Booth quickly sells them out to Interpol, freezing their $300 million payout.
See? Now we're even. If everyone loses, no one gets the money, we can all be friends again.
Booth then takes his new best friends on a mission to the Louvre in Paris, which he promises will offer double the payout and triple the challenge. Honestly, it all seems like a lot to take on for someone who just wants to make a few friends. While Nolan Booth and John Hartley both end up being decidedly different people than they initially seem to be, Gal Gadot's The Bishop is pretty much exactly the character she says that she is at the beginning of Red Notice. She loves to steal from people and takes joy in beating Booth at every turn. While the film doesn't explore the Bishop's origins nearly as much as it does Booth's and Hartley's, she does share a few important pieces of information that make it clear why she turned to a life of crime. In the middle of the film, the Bishop holds an intelligence analyst hostage and treats him as a largely unwilling therapist. During their session, she explains that she also faced a tough childhood and that her father made her who she is today. She further questions whether her inability to accept second place is what keeps her from being truly happy, and admits that she struggles to trust people. However, the events of the film seem to lead to her discovering a newfound faith in her fellow human beings. When presented with the opportunity to form a 3-person team with her lover/art thieving partner and her former rival, she is the first to accept. In fact, while Hartley is initially reluctant to form a new team, it's Gadot's Bishop who persuades him into agreeing. Interpol Inspector Urvashi Das, played by Ritu Arya, perhaps the only truly honorable character in Red Notice, spends the entirety of the film just trying to keep up. She quickly deduces that Special Agent John Hartley is not who he claims to be and chases the film's art-thieving trio all over the world. After the Bishop and Hartley reveal the location of all 3 of Cleopatra's eggs, Dawes leads a team of police to recover them, crashing the wedding of an Egyptian billionaire's daughter and arresting performer Ed Sheeran in the process. While Dawes is ultimately unable to keep the Bishop, Hartley, or Nolan Booth in prison for a substantial period of time, one has to hope that putting Ed Sheeran behind bars serves as some sort of consolation prize, right?
Get off me! Do you know who I am? I was in Game of Thrones!
Dawes is last seen in Red Notice sending out 3 red notices in the hopes of catching the infamous art thieves at the center of the movie, neatly setting up a sequel. Cleopatra's eggs serve as the MacGuffin of Red Notice.
How are we gonna find this egg?
I don't know. Look for a box that says MacGuffin.
The hunt for Cleopatra's eggs is put into motion at the beginning of the film after an Egyptian billionaire offers a $300 million prize in exchange for having them delivered to the wedding of his daughter, also named Cleopatra. The eggs are scattered across the globe. The first place they wound up is in a museum in Rome, the second is in a private estate, and the third is in a long-forgotten South American bunker filled with Nazi memorabilia. While it's not explicitly said what happens to the eggs after Inspector Dawes recovers them in Egypt, it's safe to assume that they found their way to a museum of some kind. Hopefully, it's a location where they'll be better protected than they were in their prior homes. While the eggs certainly sound like legitimate artifacts, they are completely fictional. In an interview with The Wrap, Red Notice producer Hiram Garcia even recounted his amusement at director Rawson Marshall Thurber's ability to fool people with such a believable fictional history for the objects. Garcia revealed, "At the end of the pitch, the same thing always came up, which was I had no idea about the whole Cleopatra thing. And with great comedic timing, he always said, 'Oh, I just made all that up.' It has such a well-conceived backstory that you wish they were real, but no, they were totally made up. It's a very fun idea he had come up with." Taking that into account, one can only imagine what other fictional treasures might exist in the world of Red Notice. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite new movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.